Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to work on the battery packs and finishing them up. So we're going to put the Anderson connectors on them. I want to show you real quick what a pack looks like once it's finished with the setup I'm doing. So let's switch to camera and take a look at it. Alright, so this is a finished pack. We have Anderson connectors on it. We have reinforcement zip ties on it to add stability to it. Let's turn this on so you can see it a little bit better. So we have a reinforced zip tie that actually goes through here. We also have the long one on zip tied to it. I know this is not directly on the cells, but it's easier to do it that way than hooking them up directly to the cells. But I think that will work nice. If not, I can always move them later. But I'm going to make every pack look like this. Okay, I'm going to prep the wire for the Anderson connectors. I'm going to cut these at 6 inches long. And then there's 2 per pack. I already have 2 packs done, so I only need 24 of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these to length and make them the same length and go from there. Okay, now that I've cut the wires, I know that they're not all the same length, but I'm just going to match them up as I'm going. They don't need to be perfect. I'm going to match them up pretty close, so when I strip them and everything, they'll show up the same length. But obviously I didn't cut everyone the same length, and I can fix that as I'm going. So to connect these to a pack, what I do is I end up cutting off some of the bus bar, and then I use these butt connectors to put on over the bus bar. Will actually fit on the inside of that, and then that will fit in there. Let me get one of these out. So this will fit inside there. That will fit onto there once it's cut off and clean. So you get the idea. And I just crimp them up and put the Anderson connectors. Have these style plugs on the end. Just put them on there so they're both facing the same way. So when they go into the plug, they actually clip in to the plug. There's a piece of metal in there, and then they just clip in. Okay, so to cut the bus bar in the right spot, I'm taking the little butt connector, putting it next to the bus bar, and just marking it with a Sharpie. I kind of want that one to be semi-accurate. So I'm doing that, and then I'll just come along with my cutters. There we go. Now the butt connector should fit on there. Pretty good. Just like that. Okay, so I have my crimper. Just come along in here. Nice and slow, nice and easy. You don't want to rip the bus bar off the pack. Clamp it down. There you go. So that side is done. Let's see if I can do the other side without getting crazy on the camera. I think the cripper fits a little bit better like that too. That's pretty good. I'm gonna actually redo this one. That's good. I actually broke off a little bit of plastic, but that's not really a big deal. Looks like my soldering gun made that fragile. Alright, so we're ready to strip these two wires and put them on there. Okay, so my wire stripper unfortunately does not strip this gauge of wire. This is 8 gauge. So all I'm using is a utility knife, cutting the jacket off, and then I twisted the copper. Need more light. There you go. You can see it now. Twisted the copper just to make it easier to put inside the butt connector. Just like that. And then I'll crimp it. There you go. Alright, do the next one. Okay, now that I have both wires on there, nice and secure, I'm just going to cut some heat shrink tube to length to cover everything. That actually is a little bit bigger than I need. So the next one I do, I'll probably cut back a little bit. I'll go grab the heat gun and put these on. Alright, I used the heat gun to shrink these down. Unfortunately, my camera didn't record while I was doing that. So, ta-da! It's done. And basically, these are a little bit oversized for what I'm using them for, but works really good. And they actually have glue in them seal. So I really like the heat shrink. Next step is to strip these down to put the Anderson connectors on them. Like that. And then we can put the plug on. So let's do that. Okay, so I just stripped the wire back with the utility knife. Make sure that there's enough to fit inside the connector. All we have to do now is put the connector facing up. You can see that there's like a little logo on it where they stamped it. This is up, and you can also tell because the bottom has a lip that fits into the connector that clips in. So we'll just put that on, crimp it, and then we can put the plug on. Both of these are crimped now really good. These are designed to have just one battery on it. You know, you could do your negative lead and your positive lead. But in my situation, I'm actually using it for just one side of it. Put these in here. Flathead screwdriver helps put them in there. You can kind of just push down the release mechanism. Like that. Helps if you do both sides about the same time this way. There you go. Clip them in there. And that one's ready. Before I do the positive side, I'm just adding the zip tie on there to add a little bit more strength to it. Positive side is just not as strong. I know some people, instead of doing fuses on the last two, they use the solid copper. I'm just going to use zip tie. I mean, that adds a lot of strength to it. I mean, I would have to really try to rip that off to kill it. So I'll probably do that on all of them, both positive and negative from going forward. I just quick and easy, cheap, and it adds strength. So I'm going to do the positive side, and it's exact same thing that I did on the negative, and I showed you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it and get it done. Now that we have all the packs with Anderson connectors on them and they're ready to go, the next step is to put it on the battery shelf and hook up the BMS. So show you the battery shelf. I have coated it in rubber to make it less conductive. Now it will scrape off eventually. It's not going to be a perfect solution, but if I'm gentle with it and everything, and I think it will turn out right. So let's look at the battery rack real quick. So this is the battery rack that we will put the batteries on and put the BMS on. It's actually pretty decent. Ooh, focus, there we go. Pretty decent coating. It's not gonna last forever, but it's a good start until maybe I'll put plexiglass on it and drill holes through it for ventilations or something. But for right now, this is what I got. I can always improve it. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys watching the BMS video and getting this thing all fired up. Have a good day.